G'day, it's Alex here, Victor Kilo 2 Papa Radio Charlie. You probably gathered by now that I'm a big fan of the Clansman British Army man-pack radio, and today I've decided to put together a project from bits and pieces that I've got around the workshop here to make myself a nice, loud external speaker that I can connect to my Clansman 320. And I can plug this in at shows so that people can hear what I'm hearing in my headphones and make it a little bit more user-friendly for that application. So what I've put together here is an idea of using a second-hand old headphone cable, a small amplifier that I've bought on eBay, and a speaker, magnetic speaker, and housing the whole thing in a ammunition box. So that's the whole idea. So what I'd like to do is just explain each individual component, and then we'll put it all together and we'll see how it runs. Okay, let's have a look at this circuitry that we're going to use to run our little amplifier. We're going to need an earth common, and the earth common happens to be pin E, and that's a white cable. We're going to need an audio drive, so I'm using the orange cable, pin D, and that goes to one of the headphone sockets usually. And of course we're going to need 24 volts to power our amplifier. On the Clansman audio output sockets, there is in fact 24 volts available, but not used very often. Definitely not needed for headsets and handsets, so it's simply not connected to that type of cable. But pin C on the audio socket is 24 volts, and here it's got not connected. So we're going to have to use the 24 volts from pin C to get our little amplifier working. So that'll give us a 24 volt supply. We'll have a common earth, and that'll be common to our speaker as well, and an audio drive. So there's our three that we're going to need. So let's move on and have a look at our second-hand Clansman cable. Okay, for my project here, I was lucky enough to have a Clansman audio socket that was left over from an old set of lightweight headset that I'd scrapped. So I kept the cable, and this is a particular cable that we're going to use to run our little amp. Okay, so as I just explained previously, we only need 3 wires to run our little project, including the most important pin C, which is the 24 volts. Now, normally on these sockets, they've got 7 pins, and pin C is sitting in there, but it's not connected to anything. So what we've got to do is we've got to get 24 volts up pin C. Okay, so first of all, we need to be able to pull our audio socket apart to get into the connections there. So the first thing we do is we simply prise the little rubber grommet here and push it back down the cable. Okay, and then we grip just here with a pair of pliers, possibly a little bit of rag or something like that, so we don't scratch it. And then underneath here is a metal part, and we twist that and turn it, and that little metal part screws out of here, and we push that back down as well. Then we get our audio socket, and we actually put that onto a radio or something to stop it turning, and then we grip the audio socket here, and we turn it and unscrew that as well. Okay, so once we've got all of this unscrewed, the little pin connections that are crimped onto these little pins are exposed, so we can actually see them. So what we're going to do here is we're going to remove some of the pins that we're not going to use anymore. I did that. And we're going to replace pin C with a pin that's got a wire connected onto it. And I've decided to use the blue wire and make that my pin C. So that'll give me a blue, an orange, and a white cable going to my amplifier, which will be the blue, 24 volts, pin C. D is the orange cable, and the orange cable is an audio cable, and pin E, which is the common earth for the audio and the supply. Okay, so once I get down to this level, I need to get these pins out of here. And the really interesting thing is that these pins are actually, I'll get a little screwdriver here and point, these pins are pushed in to this very, very tough rubber backing. So this little thing with all the holes in it is extremely tough rubber. And in fact, the pins have been pressed into it. So what I did, I get a drill like so, and I use the back of the drill, the shank, and I put that on top of the pin, and then very, very carefully I press very hard and push the pin out the back. And they're very easy once you get the knack of it. You can just push each of the pins out, and I reinserted the blue one into the pin C position, so which gives me the three pins required. I just snipped off the other ones inside that weren't required anymore. Put it all back together again, and then here at the other end we've got the three most important cables to run our project. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a little bit of a talk about the little amp that I used. Okay, here's the little amp that I used. You can buy these things on eBay for about $5. Yeah, they're a little mono audio amplifier. Yeah, they run on something between 5 and 24 volts, so it should be just perfect for this little application. Over here, when you buy it, you get the pin out of it, you know. So over here we've got the audio output terminals. Here we've got the DC, the 24 volts in. Looking underneath, that's the minus one. Okay, so yeah, pretty easy to connect those up. And on the other side here, we've got the audio. These are the audio input sockets. And what we've got to do is we're going to run the audio into this one, because the other one is earth. So we've got to run our audio input into that socket there. That's the one closest to the potentiometer. Okay, this is the audio amplifier that I used for the project. You can see it there, pretty easy to find on eBay. If I scroll down, it'll show you should show us the pin out for the, there she is, the little audio amplifier. And there's the pin out and the specifications for it. Just one last thing, just recall, I pointed out in an earlier video that audio in for our project is that terminal there. Yeah, that's a bit of a roundabout sort of a way here. They've marked it, but that one there, that's the terminal for the audio in, and of course we've got our 24 volts going in here, and our speaker coming out of here. So there, basically that's it. Pretty easy. Yeah, pretty nice little module, that one, for under $5, which made the project quite economical. Okay, last of all, I went down to my local electronics store and I bought a nice big speaker. I didn't want to use a tiny little squeaky one. I managed to get this one here. It's an 8 ohm speaker, and it's probably, I think, about 15 watts. It's a 5-inch speaker, and it's going to fit really, really well into my ammunition box. So, which will give me hopefully a good classy audio sound, rather than a tinny little tiny little speaker. So there we go. That's all the components that I've put together, and now I'm going to sit back in my workshop with my drill and my screwdriver and whatnot, and put this thing together. So the next thing we'll see, hopefully, is the project put together, and I'll take you through the steps there. Okay, here's the speaker that I purchased to make the project. I bought it from JCar Electronics here in Australia. It's a 125mm speaker, or 5-inch. Yeah, it's a 4 ohm, a 6 watt. So there you go. That's the speaker we used in the project. Okay, we've just completed the construction phase. So I'll just take you through what I've done. As far as mounting the speaker, I've drilled a series of holes into the side of the ammunition box there, and countersunk them, sort of give it that way out look. And I've splashed a little bit of camo paint around the box to give it that military look as well. So as far as that's concerned, we've got a hole drilled in the back of the box here, and we've inserted the grommet that came out of the old headset that I scavenged the cable from. I've put a little bit of an RF choke on here as well, won't hurt. So let's have a look inside. So inside the box, I've mounted the speaker on the inside here. That's pretty evident there, and I've mounted the little amplifier board there on a small piece of wood that I've screwed with a couple of screws in from the back, and a couple of standoffs mounted the little board on the wooden block, and of course I've added a knob here onto the volume control for the amplifier. I've tried it out on the radio here with just a well, no signal at all, but just hissing away, and it's sounding very, very loud. So the next step, we'll slip up to the park on the next portable operation, and we'll try out our new ammunition speaker box. I'll just close that up. There she is. So yeah, got the handle to carry it, and yeah, our little external speaker box. So we'll see how it operates in the field. Okay, we're up here at the park to test out our speaker. So I set up on 40 metres here at the moment. I've got the half wave up, and there's a station on here at the moment. I'm just turning up a little bit.
Not looking at with the same eyes as usual, that's for sure. But yeah, all understood. It's certainly not perfect. Excellent. Yeah, no, it's yeah, okay. I think about it, Greg, and see what's worth in it. Echo 2 Golf Julia Charlie, but thanks for that. VK2 Golf Julia Charlie, ZL3 CHE, over.
Okay, that was set at about quarter volume.
You're 5x8, 5x9, very good signal. Lima Zulu 1 Quebec, Italy, ZL1 Alpha Yankee Hotel. Yeah, the QRM is building now. I have interference level, it's not QRM or anything, it's just interference, and the stations underneath are very loud. But you're 5x8 to 9, you have my handle Allen, and QTH is near Auckland City. Lima Zulu 1 Quebec, India, ZL1 Alpha Yankee Hotel.
As you can see, it's working very, very well up here. Lovely clear signal, and it goes incredibly loud. I'm talking about people 100 metres away could hear this, no trouble at all. It's a very, very successful little project. In fact, I've got to turn it down because it's simply too loud.
Roger, Petco. Everything 100%, no problem. Thank you for the call, over. The 4-element tribunder, it looks like, David. And regarding the tower, yes, this Luso Japanese tower is an exceptional good tower. It's very, very well made. It's a huge tower, a lot of weight, a lot of steel there.
As we can see, that was a very, very strong station, beautiful audio on the speaker. I'm very, very happy with that. It was only turned up about a quarter of the volume. Very, very loud speaker. I reckon you could hear it from 100 metres away, maybe more. It's turned the Clansman with no audio amplifier in it into an absolutely very, very strong base station. In fact, almost a public address system base station. Very, very happy with the project.
Et de notre présence mutuelle, bien évidemment. J'écoute le final à moins de questions. France 5, bravo Zulu, bravo, FK8LV 73, à bientôt. The rocket was close. Not so that it was slamming, but it was brisk. Well, that was fine, and then one day I noticed I came out and the refrigerator was everything, and the refrigerator was...
Okay, there's a bit of distance.
Bravo, France 5 uniforme direct, Kilo 73, merci, ça vous fait une station d'écoute. Ok, 73, Fred, merci pour le contact, bonne journée.
You can probably hear the volume there. It's quite loud, and to tell you the truth, it's probably only turned up about halfway, maybe less. Well, there we have it, guys. we've put it to the test. We've brought it up here to the park and set it up in portable operation, and listened to some stations transmitting from the other side of the world. Lovely clear audio. It's an extremely loud audio volume. I only had it turned up slightly today. I could have doubled that, but of course it would have went into distortion. But a very successful project. Very happy with the results. Very economical and quite usable as well.